Nice, good win. I think we got it!
Okay, like, can you like go wash the dishes now or something, please?
Okay.
What'd you say?
Play of the game.
Something horribly sexist.
You know, it happens. Just
What did he
report them
say?
and move on.
Unfortunately, this is a common misconception that women are not gamers. And that led me to this week's YouTube video. Why do people think more men than women play video games? Or why in the past have more men than women play video games? Keep watching to find out.
You're a bot, I'm a bot, we're all bots, yeah!
It's all marketing's fault. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you can get more amazing content like this in the future. Look, I can do this with my hair. Subscribe to see this more often. Look at it, where'd I go? So I think so many people wonder this question: why do more men than women play video games? And there's actually a really straightforward answer to this. Before I answer the question, let me tell you a little bit about my credentials. I was a marketing major in undergrad. I graduated with a business administration degree with a focus in marketing, and I have a master's degree in higher education administration. So I know a small just a small thing or two. How did I say at the beginning of this video, it's all marketing's fault? Marketing is the whole reason we see or have seen more men than women play video games. And let me explain. Gaming, when it was first brought up, was actually very equal. Games were not targeted at men or females. They were actually targeted at adults. The goal wasn't to target a game at a specific gender. It was just to make a fun game that people enjoyed playing. That's why if you go back and you look at some of the early games, you'll see video games such as tic-tac-toe, checkers, centipede, nothing that was super heavily targeted and marketed to males. It was so evenly distributed. Video gaming was actually in the electronics aisle. It was marketed to both men and female. Anyone and their mom would go to electronic aisle and get what they wanted and get the games. That's when marketing came in. What did marketing do? So they decided to switch gaming from the electronics aisle to marketing it as a toy. They did this because in the 1980s, there was the great video game recession or crash. Basically, everyone was making video games, and not all of them good. If you have no idea what's going on, neither did the 1980s. And so there were a lot of really bad games out there and people just weren't buying them. So marketers were trying to revamp the video game industry. So how they did that is they decided to get really targeted with their audience. So they went to some gaming competitions and saw there were some more males at those gaming competitions than females. So they decided to go full on and market it to 10-year-old boys. That was their sole goal, was marketing to 10-year-old boys. In marketing, the more targeted you are, the more you are going to get the bang for your buck. And with the gaming industry being basically at the brink of bankruptcy, they had to be as targeted as possible. And that's when we get this whole no girls allowed in the video game industry. And that's why we get things like Game Boy. And if you ever watch marketing trailers, it's very highly targeted at men. And that's why for like 20-something years, we saw more men than women play video games. Women were marketed products such as like dolls and like Barbie playhouses. We were marketed stuff like that, and boys were marketed Game Boy, the PS2, the PS3. It was all very heavily targeted at men, and so that's why we're trying to play catch up now, and why we see such an increase in men playing video games versus women in the past. And if you ever check out old video games, you'll see the women's role always like a lesser than role than the man. So what do I mean by that? So there's always this strong male protagonist must protect the weak female and rescue them. There's so many examples of this. There's a reason for that. Gaming was being targeted at men, and women were like not a thought in that. So a lot of gaming companies went with it, and they made gaming products that have strong male protagonists and weak females that must be saved. If you're female, you don't always want to see yourself as the damsel in distress, so of course we didn't play the games. Gaming companies are missing out on such a great population by not marketing to females, and they started to catch on to this pretty recently. Women can help make a game very, very successful. Take, for example, Overwatch. The character lineup is so diverse, one of the diverse lineups in gaming. This kind of leads into another video I was wanting to do, why more women than men play Mercy. If you want to see that video, please feel free to comment below. But that's why we saw an increase in women coming to that game, because they saw themselves in a game. It wasn't marketed just to men, it was marketed to both genders. And that's literally the only reason we see more men than women in gaming. It's not because women don't like gaming. The current 2020 numbers show women like gaming just as much as men. It's because that these consoles have been so heavily marketed for many, many years to men that people was like, you must have penis to play game. You cannot be good at game with vagina or boobs. Even though hands have nothing to do with your gender, but okay. So yeah, that's the story. That's why more men than females play video games. Us females, I identify as a female. My pronouns are she, her. We're gonna rise up and we're gonna play more games and we're gonna be a more inclusive environment. I have all the faith in the world that gaming's gonna keep drifting to that direction. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to let me know. Have an amazing day and peace.